What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm back here live with a special guest, Mr. Caleb Wright. Caleb, how you doing today, man?
What's going on? I'm doing well. How are you, brother?
Good, man. So, we just hit the off season a couple months ago. How has your off season been going so far?
My off season's been going great. I'm coming off an injury, so I've just been really just working on healing, getting stronger, getting faster. I'm fully cleared and I'm locked and loaded and ready to go.
For sure. So rehab is a big thing. What rehab skills have you been going through right now?
Yeah, so I have the best physical therapist in my opinion in the world. Brittany Galuth, she's amazing, and I've been going to her probably for the past few years, just with different injuries, little stuff like that. But I've been going through her through the hospital Guthrie in Cortland in New York where I'm at, and she's amazing though because she'll push me hard. She's gentle at times too, but she also understands that I have goals and aspirations and things that I need to do, and she's doing whatever to make that happen. So I have the best in the world.
That's awesome. I have a great physical therapist too. Having good physical therapists are important, to reaching your goals and potential.
Absolutely.
So during the off season, what's your daily routine looking like in terms of work and rehab?
So for me, I'm different, right? So I'm clocked in, right? That's my gym, my brand as well. So I actually own a gym here in New York in Cortland. So for me, I'm up bright and early. My alarm goes off at probably 5:15. I'm at the gym by 6 o'clock. I'm training different groups of people from probably 6 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m. And then I take a little break. And then I usually come back around 4 o'clock. So from like 3 or 4 until about 8 o'clock, I'm training people there. So that's like I'm busy, man. But I literally live in the gym. I work in the gym, so that gives me no excuse to not be ready every single year for whatever opportunities that I have for sure.
Man, I might be in New York in a couple months, so I'm gonna have to come and check out your gym for sure.
Facts, yeah, come pull up, man.
So owning a gym, being a business owner, being a brand owner, that's something that's really prevalent nowadays. There's many people that try to own something and try to create something, but it's really difficult to do that. So how did you manage to create your own brand?
So I started off in college. I had the slogan I would say "clocked in" all the time when I would go to the gym, and me and my friend we put it on Snap. We'd just be like #clocked in, and then as time kind of went on, I have my trainer Vinny Scolo. He's the one who really put me onto it. Getting trained by him made me realize the impact that he had on other people through something mutual that him and I had in common, which was the gym, right? We loved that. And so I always thought to myself whenever I'd see Vinny training people, how much that's what I'd want to do. Not just training, but the impact. And seeing people grow and elevate and succeed in their own way was something that I always wanted to do. And so then from there, I kind of just I started training at somebody else's gym here in Cortland with about a couple kids, like 2 or 3 kids. I started with 2 or 3, and that number grew to like 50 in like a month. And then went to another gym. COVID hit. As COVID hit, though, during COVID's really when I kind of decided to like spark it. COVID made me really think about how cool it would be to have my own spot. But also, while that was happening, a lot of other gyms in the area were asking me to train. And I was like, man, I feel like if they're asking me to train at their gyms, there's got to be something about me that they want, right? So I took that and I said, well, let me just invest in myself. Let me see if I can make this work on my own. So since then, I have a great gym business partner too, Jeremy Stewart. He's the one that's been holding it down for me when I go play arena, which is awesome. So he's the head trainer there when I'm gone, and even when I come back, it's been great. So I have a lot of people in the mix that's helping me keep this thing afloat.
That's really amazing to hear. So nowadays, I feel like there's 2 different types of people that go to the gym: the people that want attention and the people that actually want to better themselves. Can you speak a little bit on the importance of being locked in when you go to the gym?
Yeah. So if you come to my gym, I'm not gonna lie to you, like we don't want the attention. We want to work, right? We have a lot of fun. We do our thing, but being clocked in to me, it's a mindset, right? And the slogan is cool and it's catchy, but it's generally a mindset, right? No matter what you do, if you're invested into something, you got to clock in, and when you clock in, you're on the clock, right? And you got to work. It's time to work. So when people pull up to the gym, they know when you're clocked in, man, we're working. We're gonna get better. We're striving to get better, and honestly, eventually, you're gonna look better. So that attention's gonna come regardless, right? But you got to clock in first.
Clock in, man. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
So kind of going back to your high school career, from what I understand, you were a multi-sport athlete. How was that?
Yeah, so I played basketball, football, track in high school. It was cool. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. I think some of the best athletes play three sports, right? I don't knock anybody that plays one or two, but I think from each sport that I played, my athleticism increased because of those different qualities and skills that I learned from the other sports, right? So I think that I preach to all the kids that I train, man, if you can play more than one, play more than one. On top of that, normally there's different coaches, right? So now you're learning from different coaching styles. You're meeting different types of people. You're competing with different athletes, and it can honestly really only just push you to be better for real.
I agree with that. Um, so after high school, you went to Morrisville University. What was your recruitment process like, and how did you decide you wanted to play two sports?
Yeah, Morrisville is crazy. So I before I transferred to Morrisville, I played basketball at Tompkins Cortland Community College, it's a junior college. I played basketball there, and after the basketball season, my coach, Coach Stevenson, he's one of my favorite coaches too, of all time, definitely up there. Uh, he kind of gave me a list of some schools that were interested in me basketball wise, and he ran down the list, and he's like, all right, so which school are you thinking about? Like, what sounds good to you? I remember I just looked at him. I'm like, Coach, I'm not gonna lie, I want to play football. He was kind of puzzled, but he was like, all right, we'll make it work. So, long story short, one of my best friends, Jordan Pryor, he played basketball at Morrisville University as well, and he was like, yo, you got to come check out my school. The basketball team is really good. He was like, the football team's but if you want to play football, you can come here and play football as well. So realistically, when I went, my first visit that I went on was for basketball. I was with the basketball coach there, Coach Smith. He walked me around, showed me everything. And then I get home that next day. I get a phone call from Coach Fitz, who's the football coach at Morrisville. He's at Cortland State now. And he was like, hey, Caleb, I heard that you were on campus yesterday at Morrisville. I was like, yeah, I was on a visit for basketball. He was like, well, listen, I'm going to be the new head coach there. If you want to play football as well, I'd love to have you come back up for a visit. We can talk. So I drove back up the next day, and he sold me, right? So I ended up locking in and playing both there.
Playing both in high school is something, but playing both in college is just a different breed. How were you able to manage that as a student athlete?
Oh man, it was tough. To be honest, what's crazy, I had the highest GPA that I ever had throughout my college semesters playing both that year. I think it's because all I was doing was playing sports, right? And I was in school. I wasn't really able to go out and do all these other things that a lot of other college students could do because I had to be so focused on my schoolwork and sports. So I'll be real with you. It was tough. It was definitely tough. It was hard. Honestly, I kind of a lot of people know this, but I credit my best friend Eddie Soto. I credit him a lot. He was my roommate. He's my best friend, but he really kept me like straight and narrow. He played football too. He was real good. He was running back, but he really was always on me, man. He was always asking about basketball practice, and when I would tell him about different things that I was struggling with, he'd be real encouraging. He was keeping me up.
That's really important to have a best friend like that, who's going to elevate you. So after your college career, at what point did you decide, okay, I want to go with football or I want to go with basketball?
Yeah, so after that first year that I played both at Morrisville, that's when I decided I was strictly going to play football. So those next 2 years, I just straight up played football. By my junior year, at the end of my junior year, I went to they had this thing that's called the Junior Day, Rise of the Juniors, and basically they had it at Colgate College. I don't know if you've heard of that, Colgate University. It's a small D1 school, and it's basically like it's like a pro day but for juniors only, right? So NFL coaches and scouts can come, and so like they had a bunch of like the local area scouts for NFL teams come, and there's probably like 10 of us, and that was the day that I knew that I would have an opportunity to play professionally. I still had my senior year, right? But that day I knew that not only did I feel like I could, but my coach, who I think is the best football coach in the world, Coach Fitz, he believed in me. You know what I'm saying? And when I think that's something big for a lot of people to take away is like when somebody believes in you for real, or when you have that ability to believe in somebody else, make sure they know, because you never know how far it can push them, right? So after that junior day, I had a good senior year, and then I went into a regional combine in Maryland, NFL regional combine there. I did really well there, signed to an agency, and then the rest was history. I signed to the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks. They're in NAL at the time, in Philly, which was cool. And then I had a couple different. I had to try out a pretty cool private workout with the Packers a couple years after that, and then next thing you know, the opportunity with Southwest kind of came into play, and that was pretty cool.
So Lehigh Valley, man, that seems like many moons ago. Me being up here with Massachusetts Pirates, I remember playing the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks. How was that experience at Lehigh Valley?
That was cool. It was cool because so being from New York, Lehigh Valley, where I live, it was only like 2 hours away, 2.5 maybe at most. So it's such a difference between now, like being in Cortland and in Kansas, right? So now even like I was able to drive home, my people were able to come watch me. You know what I'm saying? That was the coolest probably part about it. And Philly was fun. Philly was a good time. So it was fun. That was a good experience.
So I see a lot on your Facebook that family is really big to you. Talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, huge. So I lost my oldest sister now almost 4 years ago, and she was one of my biggest supporters, one of my biggest motivators, right? And especially my whole life, but especially once I started doing the pro football stuff, and even in college. And so I remember I would pray and be like, man, God, if you give me this opportunity, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna definitely rep my sister in the best way possible, right? I always would pray like, man, if I get an opportunity to play again, I'm gonna do it for her. So after all my posts, everything you see, like the hashtag Nikki, right? RIP Nikki, or I had them made on my first cleats that I had and stuff like that at Southwest and stuff like that. So she's huge. She's definitely a huge motivator now and forever. You feel me? My little brother, he's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a little rough around the edges, but he's got a caring heart. But he's tough, and I think that's where I get my toughness from. He's probably one of the toughest people that I know on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of that kind of stuff, it kind of like rubs off on me, and then I can put it into sports and whatnot too. My older brother Josh, he's a gentle giant. He's massive. He's the one that got me into working out. He's huge, man. He benches like 500 pounds. He's a big dude, but he's a gentle dude too. And he showed me there's balance between like that brute strength and learning how to speak to people and honestly just respecting people and being nice for real, just in general. And then my sister Liz, she's like my best friend for real. So whenever I'm struggling, whenever I was in Kansas, if I had a rough game or a rough day, you know what I'm saying, I knew I could call her, you know what I mean? And then obviously I have my parents, you feel me? My dad, he played football, so he gets it. He played at the highest level, he played in the NFL. And then my mom is my mom. She's tough, she's caring, she's loving, you know what I'm saying? And she's that. And then my sister Rama was awesome too. So I have a good support system with my family for real. And I think even past football, that's something to me that will always mean the most to me for real.
That's amazing. So your father, we were talking about a little bit off camera. He played in the NFL. How was that for you?
So growing up, it was weird because my dad, he's so humble. You wouldn't even know. He never pulled his card. He never pulled his NFL card on anybody, right? So actually for me, I didn't really realize how cool it was until I was in middle school. And one of my principals at the time was like, yo, can y'all send Caleb Wright to the office? You know what I'm saying? So I thought I was in trouble. And so I came over there and he gave me a copy of my dad's football card. And I didn't even know somebody had that. He was a huge Bills fan, and I didn't even know somebody had that. So that was cool. And then my dad has so many, like, he has his own memorabilia stuff, like from newspaper clippings to videos to different stuff of him playing and pictures. It's so cool to see him in that light. So it was pretty cool. I would say once I got to like my sophomore year of high school, though, that's when I started to really realize like damn, my pops really played in the NFL. And I started to kind of put pressure on myself to be like, yo, I want to be like that. I want to be a pro football player someday. So as I got older, and like I said, as I started to realize that my talents and my gifts could equate to that, I really started to push it.
For sure. So we spoke about it again about how you have two boys with the Buffalo Bills. When you watch them, how much did that make you want to go harder?
Nah, it's cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even necessarily think about going harder though, for real. I'm just like, it's just cool. like you forget about it sometimes. Like when I see Tay playing, Latavius, like when I see him playing, sometimes I forget like how famous he is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I forget how good at football he really is because every time that we chop it up, you know what I'm saying, it's always love. It's always like on a human level. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we forget about that as fans, right? We forget that these are human beings too. And so I think that's why I kind of get tight sometimes because having one of my homies that plays in the NFL is cool, but I get tight at like comments. You know what I'm saying? When people say certain stuff, because I'm like, man, he's just a human being, and he's just doing what he loves to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I think as fans, we just got to remember like they're human beings, man. And yeah, you can root for your team, but I think sometimes we're a little too hard on these people for real, for real. But yeah, it makes me want to go hard. But honestly, I just enjoy it. You feel me? I let them. That's like their moment. You feel me? And I feel like as a friend, I want to be in that moment as a friend for real. You know what I'm saying? Not as a football player. Like when I pull up to a game, I just want to be there just to watch. I'm not even trying to picture myself in the game. It's like, nah, I'm here to support my friend. You feel me?
That's really good, to be supportive of your friends. Um, so kind of looking forward, I know, we're kind of staying in the present moment with the rehab. Um, Going to the next 2 to 3 years, where do you see yourself personally and on the field?
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm doing my best to stay in the moment. You know what I'm saying? As far as the football stuff goes, you know what I'm saying? Healing, getting through rehab. Like I said, I'm getting stronger. I talked to my agent Matt Wells today, and we have a lot of stuff that's popping and rocking right now. So, we're gonna see where that takes me. So for me, really, I feel like my objective is just to be as strong, as fast, as healthy as I can be. So when these opportunities do arise, I'm gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be ready for that. So that's the football side of stuff. So football side of stuff, I'm not really sure, but we definitely have a lot of options and things in the works for that. Um, as far as my personal life, right, I see myself, the gym that I have, expanding, growing, getting more clients, getting into more school districts, and really just impacting more lives as much as I can for real.
And one thing I found really interesting, Matt Wells being your agent. Matt Wells is someone who built up his own brand as well.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship with him.
Yeah, yeah. So Matt's a good dude, man. It's funny, man. When he called me today, I was in the gym and he's just like, man, I love you, man, for real. Like, yo, you're different. You know what I'm saying? You're a special one, and I want to do this, that, and the third. I want to make sure that we have this and that, and so I love the relationship that him and I have past football, right? Past him being my agent, he's been looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? Since we got into it, and like you said, I think kind of having that same hunger, right? He's kind of started his own thing and like built off of others and grouping with people, right? But he works hard. I think when somebody has similar work ethics like you do, it's just easy to vibe. You feel me? Like everybody knows I'm the hardest working person that you probably ever meet in terms of the gym, what I do, you know what I'm saying? My own physical body. Like I don't feel like anybody out there works harder than me. Now there might be, but you know what I'm saying? That's just my own feeling. And so when I meet people with a similar work ethic, it's just so easy to click. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the biggest things with Matt. His work ethic is crazy right now. So he's just doing all those things. But I had a real good talk with him today, and I'm excited for the future and whatever it holds. But I know that either way, I'm in good hands.
That's awesome to hear. So, Caleb, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. My final question for you is, as someone who trains and mentors the youth, what's your biggest piece of advice for younger people?
Um, I would say one of the biggest things is just surrounding yourself with the right people, right? I mean, like with social media and um, the chaos of life, you feel me? And these kids are growing up and they're in this environment and that environment. Um, the biggest thing that they can do that I would tell them is just to make sure they're around the right people. Stay around the right people, you know what I'm saying? Because trouble isn't hard to find, you feel me? And also, too, there's so many positive things and there's so many positive people out there, but you just got to be around them. I think sometimes it kind of gets like, we kind of get dwindled in the negative stuff. But that's what I would tell them, right? Just surround yourself with the right people, work hard, get off your phones, go outside, run around, because there's a lot of cool things out there for them to be able to do, for sure.
That's really good advice. So, Caleb, again, thank you for the time. I look forward to watching you next year, wherever you are, you at stuff, spell. Keep grinding, man, and I'll see you at the top.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.